the Mistress of Horror here, author Tillery, and welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, how about you press that subscribe button and ring that bell so you know when I'm uploading new videos. Welcome to Mistress, Mood, and Candlelight, where I review horror movies, horror books, or horror video games while I put on makeup. This month, I am reviewing the video game Dark, and it is on, well, at least the copy I have is on the Switch. I have the physical copy from Limited Run because I'm a physical type of gamer. You can get it digital though. Dark came out quite a while ago. I kind of got the re-release of it, obviously Limited Run, but I got the re-release of that because they had ran out and then they got more in, which is not always the case, mind you. This is Dark. I have the complete edition. It is by Unfold Games, which I'll mention them again, I'm sure, when I get to the other part of this. I should mention there will be some video clips of just me screen capturing with my phone while I played the game. So you'll get an idea of what the game somewhat looks like doing the video. But you might enjoy this review. It's very creepy on the creep side, which is right down my alley. I live in that alley, actually. But I hope you enjoy this review of Dark. And it's getting closer and closer to the lovely, awesome, amazing Halloween season. So this is right on time. I can't wait to see what the next episode of Mistress Mood and Candlelight will be for the Halloween month. Anyway, enjoy the review of Dark. I'll catch you on the flip side. Are you ready for the premiere of Dark? So, priming for the premiere of Dark, let's jump into why I wanted to play Dark from the start. You all know I play video games. Duh, you're here for the show. When I do a video game, rotates around to it at some point. And of course, I like horror games. They're at the top of my list. So I tried to get most of the ones that I like. And I have multiple platforms. This specific copy of Dark is on the Switch. This was a it was a digital game originally. I think maybe it was on Steam first, and I'm more of a physical gamer. Like I like to have my physical games part in that, but I do prefer. We're not the industry isn't to the point where I would be a digital style gamer. They haven't proven to me that they're trustworthy enough for me to be a exclusive digital like gamer. I don't care about people like, oh, that I don't care about the whole thing. People say, oh, the space, la 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 la. Everyone has their reasons or whatever. So I got a copy of Dark, and I really liked it. Um, it called to me as a goth, as a gamer, as a horror gamer too. This is the case, Dark, and that's the main character there, which we'll talk about him in a second after the premiere priming part. So it's Dark with a Q at the end, not a K. It's a Q at the end. Very clever of them. It is by a smaller company. It is an indie game, obviously. Unfold Games. You can see their little logo there. Unfold Games. And Fear Demic. Can't really see that. My camera's not working on it. Right there. So it's a little companies. So I didn't really know the names of the companies. I wasn't really. It was just the game itself. So I wanted to check it out, and it's a puzzle style game with adventure because you're doing things and you kind of trying to get away from stuff too. So that was my interest. That's what grabbed me. I was really just intrigued by the concept of the game, so I decided I was gonna get a copy of it. And so we're here. I'm about primed for the premiere of Dark, which means we can jump right into the story. I'm primed for the premiere, and let's jump into Dark. So the character that you have name is Lloyd. Okay. And he's like, you see like a bald little kid. We don't really know a lot about Lloyd besides the fact that he is having he's in a dream sequence, or that, well, we don't just go right in and say nightmare. He's in a dream sequence and turns into a nightmare pretty quick. So, like he's not gonna have a pleasant time sleeping. You start the game with Lloyd like in his house, and it's like a little quaint little, because it's side scrolling type of situation the game set up, and so you see like his bathroom, his kitchen, his bedroom, and then like a little hall that has stairs to go up and down. You don't ever go up or down in there, but that's it. So you walk with him at the start, and you go to the only thing you can click on, because it's like a prompt to show up in his bed. So you're like, okay, well, obviously the only thing I can do here is go to bed. That's the whole point, though. You gotta go to sleep. You have to go to bed. So yay, time for sleep. Here I come, sleep. That's what Lloyd says. No, he doesn't say that at all. So Lloyd is a boy that's aware of the fact that he's dreaming. But unfortunately, his dreams quickly turn to nightmares. So that. And you get that they just tell you this. If you read the back of the case of the game, it tells you that. Because it's not really going to physically explain that in the game. Because that's not how the story's being told. You're playing it. So you see him go into his dream. As Lloyd is going through the story, um, there's some abilities that he has while he's asleep. He can bend and defy the laws of reality. Meaning, like at one point, well, you'll find out quite soon and early on that if he pushes his hand against a wall, it can flip it. So, like, you can walk on the ceiling or another wall that usually you would not be able to walk on the wall. So he can, which this helps you get through the game, his dreams and nightmares, which is a very cool touch, might I add. Also, the music is bomb. Like, I love the music, and the sound effects are on point to scare the bejesus out of you. Like, seriously, you must play this with earbuds or a headset on, because you're going to be looking behind you like you heard stuff around you. It's on point with horror, no lie. They did a good job with the atmosphere and the build. You will be creeped out for sure. Lloyd kind of starts down his kitchen, got a little stove fire going. Then you walk to his bed, lays down on the bed, goes into his first dream, which, everything in this game is like a nightmare. Let's just be honest. It just is. When you wake up in the dream, your sleep is deception. You're in a room that looks like there's no way out, and it looks like there's not going to be a way out from the looks of it. And so you go back and forth. You don't know at this point. Like, you're like, wait, what am I supposed to do here? What is Lloyd supposed to be doing here? What is expected of me? And so you push on the wall, press the action button, and it flips you to the side. Like, he can walk on the wall. Like, wow, Lloyd, that's amazing. Wish we all could do that for reals. You know how dirty the walls would be, dirtier than they already are. Like, footprints everywhere. But just before prompt, and then you press on the wall and it can flip, you hear the sound of like a heart monitor, like the boop boop boop. Like, you can hear it. Like, where is it coming from? You know what I'm saying? Like, where is that coming from? So you don't know, but you hear it. But once you push it and you walk on the walls, you kind of like don't really hear it. It's very faint. But you continue on nonetheless. And it's so funny when that first happened and the freaking room flipped, because I had no idea. Like, I did cold turkey on this game, because as far as like knowing its mechanics, I saw like some quick clip videos and stuff, and I knew right away that I wanted to play it. So when I freaking pressed the action button to see what the heck am I supposed to do here, and the room flipped, my eyes got so big. I was like, That's so freaking cool. Like, I was just like, yay, I love this already. The jump scares are there. People, I'm just saying, the jump scares are there. There is like constant ambiance, the sound effects. Like I mentioned again, play this with headset on or like earbuds or whatever. Like that's a must. Soon you'll start picking up needed items and things, what's needed to progress because it is a puzzle game, like I said. So in order to get out of one nightmare, and you soon will go into another, you have to find items that are required, which will be pretty obvious to pick up, and then you move on and do a puzzle here, puzzle there. One of the first items that you pick up is a gear. Yeah, a gear. So as you pick up the gear, and you're gonna need 3 of them in this case, 3 gears. So you can, the whole level is like a puzzle, really. All the nightmare levels or night dream levels are puzzles, and you find pieces, and everything turns into a freaking puzzle. Like the entire level, switches, clocks. You think of it, they'll probably make it into a puzzle. Like the whole level will start being a puzzle. Like he'll pull a pull on something and to switch the thing around, like switch the room around. So you have to use the whole room sometimes. Like it's very creative. I will give them that. It's no lie. It's very creative. So as you go further into the game, the more complicated the puzzles can get. I mean, it'll become overly complicated or anything. Sometimes it become a more fast paced. Like you'll need some speed to get it done before something gets you. Well, it is horror. I mean, it is horror. I did my foundation off camera because it was going to be annoying and it would take way too much time. And this is a short game. Like it has 6 chapters, as they call them, or 6 dream sequences. I would say myself, 6 of those. So this will be over pretty quick, and they're not super long. They're like 25 minutes, 20 minutes a piece, maybe less than that in some cases, 9. You probably do it in 10 minutes, some of them. But your objective is to complete the dream, get out, wake up. So that's your objective. Usually he climbs over a wall. Like it's like you'll see like a break in the wall, like pieces of plywood, whatever, and he'll climb over, and then he's back in his like kitchen or bathroom or something, or down the hall, the opposite end. You know what I mean? So you do that. It's pretty basic. You pick up the how to do everything pretty simply if you're paying attention, and that's pretty much what you follow through. Then you start getting into it more, like I said, with the puzzles. The like chapter 3, for instance, there is, I don't know what you want to call it, an entrance to, let's say, you have a park in one part. They call it the park, but it's really like you got 4 locks. You walk on these panels, and then you have to do the sequence to get into that area. When you get into that little part, there's a creature waiting for you. So you're coming in contact with creatures at this point, and if they see you, you're done. Oh. Oh shit. I'm just telling you, you're done. If they see you, you're over. End of dream. You're not waking up though. Just put you right back where you last came in the door, so to speak. Or like if you went in and did something, you still gotta go in and finish it. You know what I'm saying? So like you have to get by this thing. So you could go a little bit and then he could defy gravity and physics and then go up the wall and wait and then it go by. Then you drop down, get the thing, go back up when it's coming by, and then go, like you're on edge because you're trying not to be seen, because if it gets you to drag you or do other things to you that you hear his screams. So let's just say you don't want to be gotten. You just do not want to be gotten. So that's kind of like what happens. You'll see different creatures that he should not be seen by. So you have a slight sneak button that you could do so he could be a little bit quieter. One of the creatures in the game has like telekinesis. So you think you're just out the room, and it grabs you and slams your body into the ground. So it is kind of like creepy, and the sounds with these type of instances and making you feel uncomfortable, where you feel like, yeah, this is not good. I'm gonna get destroyed. So you want to be careful. You don't want things to happen to Lloyd. You start getting attached to him a little bit. You know what I mean? You want to make out his nightmares. And I like it at one point later in the game, because the chapters, like I said, aren't very super long, so you'll get the gist of it pretty quick. There's one fun part that you like when you find these different items, and you have to. There's a room. There's two rooms. There's a room with a mirror, and then you can go by that. And then in the room there's dark, which you have to put a light bulb in there because it shows the prompt. So you go to put the light bulb in. If you put the light bulb in before you put a mask on in front of that mirror, the room before, when you illuminate the room, there's a bunch of creatures with masks on, and he'll fall because he's scared, and he'll start backing up into the room like this way towards the screen, and then they get him. So this is also a puzzle. You have to put the mask on, look in the mirror to put the mask on, then you can go in the room, put the bulb in, and then they won't get you when the lights come on. Cool, huh? Or is it just me? So one of my favorite chapters is chapter 5, because you are on a train. So you're on a moving train, and Lloyd finds this out after he wakes up on the car, one of the train cars, and then sees the ground moving outside when you look. So then you start going and doing the physics thing, going down the wall, up the wall, and such. There's switching levers to pull. You need to get the power back on in certain parts. He even does, like, I'm getting electrocuted a little bit to hold the cords. So there's some pretty cool things happening in order to do these puzzles. Like the whole entire level is a puzzle, you'll find out. And you have to do this before you do that. Or you have to bypass this, don't do this yet, to get to the other thing to do that thing in order to get the other thing to work. So it's quite clever. I do like thinky things. Chapter 5 is when you meet the wheelchair lady. I love her. No, I don't. No, not at all. No, I don't. She is like in a wheelchair, like a nurse. Looks like a nurse type in a wheelchair. Like, everyone's really dark and dreary on here. I'm just telling you now. And she's like a nurse, and she has like breath bandages around her eyes, around her head, and stuff. And yeah, so she's like asleep at one point. You need to get something, so you're kind of like easing towards her, but she doesn't move. You still want to be careful though, because if you wake her up, she's going to get you. There's no escape. Once they see you, they get you. That's just a fact. Okay, so you have to do a puzzle. She shows back up, and the maze, it's a maze puzzle, like those ones you get in like the kids books, like the maze books, or adults too, the maze books. And you use the pencil, and you like, this is the way I need to go, and I'm gonna get to the whatever is the end. In this case, is a center enter. So you go from the outside to in, make it to the center. So if the maze is on the wall, you're looking at it, and you start from the outer. As soon as you start the maze, the room starts to spin. Yes, you heard me. So the room begins to spin slowly, not too much. And then you'll notice there's two halls as it's spinning to other rooms, because the room is going like this. And your maze is right here. But when they go around, you see the woman in the wheelchair. Yeah, you see her. And she's coming down one of the halls. And as it spins back, you only have to 3 passes. No, the third pass is when she gets you. So you have to do the maze real quick when it gets to it, and then try to do a little bit, like memorize where you saw it. And then if you get caught in the thing and you're trying to hurry up, yeah, let's just say she got me like 5 times. Okay. And when she gets you, she jumps like at the screen, and like she obviously gets Lloyd and tears him apart. Unfortunately, poor Lloyd. I'm sorry, Lloyd. But he comes back. It's okay. He comes back enough that, it's not that big a deal. And then lovely chapter 6 is in a hospital. It is in a hospital. And you're trying to figure out what's going to be the outcome of this game. What's going to happen to Lloyd? Is he going to get to wake up? It's going to get very annoying near the end. Okay? Right when you go to start chapter 6, so to speak, when you go lay down, the nurse what was in the wheelchair, she's not at that time, and she comes running out of like his kitchen into his bedroom while he's falling asleep and having the out of body experience that you kind of see when he goes to sleep, his body like spirit like leaving his body type of situation. And she like runs up to his sleeping form as you go into the dream, like, oh, she got me. Wow, it's a lot like in the real world. What's going on here? So yeah, poor Lloyd. I don't know. So you go and you do the next sequence. Some really cool puzzles in this part. When you get to chapter 7, and they don't really start, like, you don't notice because the things are going one to the other at this point, at the last one. After the puzzle sequence is done, it's hard. It's time to run. Yeah, you heard me. It's time to run. They had like there was this other creature, the one I mentioned about the locked door in the park part. That you pull the levers and you jump and then you do a whole bunch of stuff in that part. And that creature thing that you had to avoid is chasing you as well near the end. And the wheelchair lady's in her wheelchair. Zombie, like the wheelchair nurse undead thing is like trying to get to you, and you like can fall and she could get you, got bust through the wall, and you're running, and then that other thing show up and you're flipping, you gotta like run, flip, you gotta run back because parts of the level are falling down, which can squash poor Lloyd. Like, he's a little thin thing, so you know he's over anyway. So yeah, you can not make it a few times in this part. So Lloyd is running and running and running for his life because he needs to wake up. Okay. As he gets further and further to his destination, wherever that is, things start slowing down. Things are still falling apart, but they're slowing down. Very, very creepy like. So good old Lloyd gets to a giant door, and it's upside down by this point, by the way. So it's even creepier, of course. And the door opens and there's a bright light. I'm very curious about this ending because you hear like a baby crying. First, you hear the heart murmur, then you hear like the baby crying. I'm like, is this a rebirth? Was Lloyd sick? Was he going to pass away? What was happening? I don't know for sure because it's horror, and sometimes it ends where you don't know on a cliffhanger. So he goes through the door, baby crying background, and credits roll. The music is really epic too, by the way. So very heavy ambiance. It did its job. It's horror at its best. So I really liked the game. I really enjoyed it. It was good. And I will see you all in the next one. Stay scared.